Prime Social made a big splash in town when it opened its doors right on busy Westheimer. It quickly became the fastest growing private poker club in the country, one of more than 20 across town.
It's a great game. People have a really good time, they feel safe, they laugh. We have a really good time here.
Brent Pollock moved here from Vegas with his young family to work in the Texas poker room boom. Now he's one of 9 guys at 2 of the biggest private poker clubs in town, busted just a few weeks ago.
All right, gentlemen, you have each been charged with money laundering in excess of $300,000.
There he is in the courtroom, accused of being some sort of mob guy. Give me a break. The dog and pony show put on by the Harris County DA and the police department made it seem like someone was hiding from law enforcement. Look, folks, I don't play poker, but my company did help Prime Social try to get the word out, get them on TV, because we all know the mafia loves publicity. We promoted their charity work for Houston firefighters. Remember the Christmas toy drive, rescuing the holidays for Galveston orphans after their toys were stolen? Signing up to help the Blue Christmas Toy Drive?
So it's just thrilled to have partners like this to help us, because we're all stakeholders in the city, to make this place a better place. And things like this is just, it's just tremendous help.
Yes, that's the Houston Police Department thanking Prime Social for their work for the needy. Now, if that's not a sign of an organized crime ring, then I don't know what is. Prime wanted poker rooms to even pay sales taxes to help the city out of their financial crisis.
Well, we want to be a positive impact on the community.
So now that guys I worked with for months are being accused of being some sort of mob guys, I thought it was time to set the record straight, to cry, well, BS. Prime Social and other clubs opened up hoping to end the kind of illegal and dangerous underground gambling operations that police used to care about, while letting folks play a game millions already play.
I think all those underground games are going to dry up. I mean, nobody wants to be in a dangerous position, where you don't know necessarily who's going to walk in or if drugs are being sold there or prostitutes.
The clubs didn't take a penny from the pot, no matter how big. When that happens, it's called a rake. Instead, they did charge admission, and then an extra fee to rent a chair at a poker table, no matter how big the pot. And that's where the trouble stems from.
That they were getting an economic benefit from the gambling that was going on at the location. So they are gaining, prospering, as we know from their bank accounts, from the illicit activity that was going on there.
Sure, they made a profit. It was a business. Look at the big building Prime Social had to remodel after working with lawyers on the law. So there is a legal debate, but that's why this raid deserves more scrutiny. For months, Prime Social waited on the Texas Attorney General to clear up the questions. Instead, Ken Paxton did not rule the private poker clubs were illegal, just that it was up to local authorities to decide. This is SA Poker in San Antonio, one of 40 private poker rooms that opened up across Texas. They're allowed to operate. Maybe Kim Ogg and her fraud folks didn't watch the news the night of the Paxton decision, but here's the question. Ogg's office said nothing after the ruling, did nothing. Neither did the Houston Police Vice Squad. Not a single notice we know of to stop playing. Not a single visit from police to investigate these wide-open private poker rooms. Except for the cops that were carrying out the toys bought by Prime Social players last Christmas. For 8 long months, total silence from law enforcement, until April, when Houston police suddenly decided to launch their undercover investigation. By the way, no one had to hide. It wasn't a secret that people were playing poker exactly the way Prime Social advertised they were, 24 hours a day.
We're going to go after these types of locations just like we do a small game room that's running without permits and in violation of the law.
The county attorney now wants to shut the place down. And it's clear from the search warrant the DA is looking for all that poker money. The county lawsuit says Prime Social is some kind of public nuisance. And the evidence is this, quoting, Between May 2018 through November 2018, law enforcement was called to the club for incidents involving theft and terroristic threats related to the activity taking place inside the business. Sounds scary. Maybe the judge should do what we did. Look at the police department's own records. In the first 4 months of 2018, police reports were filed twice, one for trespassing and one for a stolen iPhone. So let's focus on that crime spree between May and November. Here's the one terroristic threat report. Quoting, complainant was threatened by suspect and found that it crossed the line. In September, a car was burglarized in the parking lot. And in November, someone complained that cash was stolen from their wallet. 3 police reports at a place that had more than 10,000 members. And this year, in the 4 months leading up to the big raid, there was one single police report filed at Prime Social, a security guard keeping a troublemaker out of the place with pepper spray. In other words, keeping the place safe. Bet you could find a Whataburger where they've had more trouble than Prime Social.
We're not going to tolerate it. We got 2 of the bigger ones today, and this is a beginning, and we need to shut them down.
But why just bust 2 poker clubs? Why didn't the DA or the chief send a notice to every single poker room in town to shut their doors? And why are they letting so many of them keep playing? Just down the road from Prime Social on Richmond Avenue is the Lions Poker Place. Like other investors, they probably put big money in what they've been arguing all along are legal poker games. Take a look at their business last Friday night. Video shot by Dolcefino Consulting. It's rocking inside. They get to benefit from Houston police deciding to handpick who can play poker and where. But why? They were doing business the same way all the clubs were, although now they don't rent seats at poker tables anymore. Since the raid, they charge members a $60 activity fee per day instead.
They tell us they are tackling illegal gambling by going after the owner-operators, not the players.
Maybe the budget crisis convinced the DA she could cash in on poker profits.
While the district attorney is prosecuting the men, the county attorney is going after the clubs themselves.
If Harris County doesn't want poker, they could have just said no. Folks could keep traveling across the border to leave their money in Louisiana. That's cool. But making criminals out of guys who simply tried to bring the fun of a game millions already play out of the shadows into high-dollar entertainment venues, well, that's not right. After the raids, the Democratic DA, who faces accusations from law enforcement of being soft on crime, called the poker raids her push to go after the big mob fish. Quoting, "We are changing the paradigm regarding illegal gambling by moving up the criminal chain." If private clubs where people were playing poker are really illegal, why are Houston cops driving by open poker clubs every day and night, weeks after the big raids? Look, gambling is controversial. Shut them all down if you want to. But why this deal? Why a big raid instead of like a phone call to all these poker rooms lawyers to say, we don't want it here? Maybe it's about the money.